Dear students, good morning. Now come to the Russian Revolution. Today we will study about the Russian Revolution, what were the effects, what were the conditions in Russia that led to the revolution. Let's see. The government in Russia was taken over by the socialists through the October Revolution of 1917. The fall of monarchy in February 1917 in Russia and the events of October Revolution are normally called the Russian Revolution. So what are these things? So in Europe, Russia was the least industrialized European state. This situation was reversed. Okay, the socialists took over the government in Russia through the revolution and the monarchy came down. What are these? Now let's see. How did this come about? What were the social and political conditions in Russia when the revolution occurred? To answer these questions, let us look at Russia a few years before the revolution. Let's see the Russian Empire in 1914. In 1914, First World War started. So at that time, what was the condition of Russia and how many countries today, which Russia had been separated. Russia was earlier the largest country in the world. Then all the states were divided. Russia was split. Now today, what was the how many countries were there under Russian Empire? You see, in 1914, Tsar Nicholas II ruled Russia and its empire. Besides the territory around Moscow, the Russian Empire included present day, which are the countries you see: Finland, Latvia, Lithuania, Estonia, parts of Poland, not complete Poland country, parts of Poland, Ukraine, and Belarus. The empire stretched to the Pacific, comprising the Central Asian states and present day Georgia, Armenia, and Azerbaijan. The major religion of Russia was Russian Orthodox Christianity, which grew out of Greek Orthodox Church. Now, these were the countries which were under Russian Empire, and which was the major religion in Russia? Russian Orthodox Christianity, not Russian or complete full both Christianity, Catholic and Orthodox. Only Russian Orthodox Christianity, that was a different Christianity, which grew out of Greek Orthodox Church, which came from Greek Orthodox Church. The empire also included Catholics, Protestants, Muslims, and Buddhists. So these four religion people were also there in the big Russian Empire. Now come to the next point. How was the economy and society of Russia? At the beginning of the 20th century, 85% of the Russian Revolution were agriculturalists. What was the occupation there? Agriculture was the main occupation. So 85% people were engaged in agriculture. Russia was a major exporter of grain. Russian cultivators produced for the market and for their own needs also. In Russia, prominent industrial areas were St. Petersburg and Moscow. Craftsmen undertook much of the production, but large factories existed alongside craft workshops. So in Russia, the main occupation was agriculture. Then there were craftsmen also, and the prominent means famous and major industrial areas were in which cities? St. Petersburg and Moscow. These are some of the MCQ questions which you must know, so that it will be easy for you. So these all small points you must keep in your mind. Then come to the next. Let us continue with economy and society only. In 1890s, many factories started due to the expansion of railway network, and there was an increase in foreign investment in industries. As a result, coal production doubled and iron and steel input increased 4 times. Why coal and iron steel increased? Because of railway. Railway requires coal as its fuel, and iron and steel requires to build the tracks, and the compartments of train are made of steel only. So these three production increased too much. Most industries were privately owned. Government supervised large factories to ensure minimum wages and limited hours of work. So who was supervising large factories? Government. To why? To ensure that minimum wages and limited hours of work. So they were given limited hours of work only. In craft units and small workshops, the working hours were sometimes 15 hours compared to 10 to 12 hours in factories. So just to imagine, the one worker has to work 15 hours, then what would be his condition? Here we are working now at present, sometimes 8 hours is maximum, 6 to 7 hours when each worker is working. Nowadays there are three shifts. In the earlier period there were two shifts, you can say 12 hours and 12 hours. There were shifts, but you see that time 15 hours also they had to work in some of the private factories. This was, you can say, it was exploitation of the laborers. Now, situation of workers. What was the situation? Now you can understand. Workers were divided as social group or by skill. You can know about, with the help of skill, suppose some are very highly skilled, some are semi-skilled, and some are unskilled laborers. And by social groups also. They had so many social groups: Buddhists, Muslims, Catholics, Protestants. So workers were divided in this way also. Some connected to villages and some settled permanently in cities. Metal workers were skilled workers, so they considered themselves as aristocrats. So those who were working in factories, they were considered as that they were very skilled workers. And they considered themselves as aristocrats, means they were thinking that we are from very high family and we are very high status people. Women made up 31% of the factory labor force by 1914. So women were also working in those days, and 31% factory laborers were women. But they were paid less than men. You might be knowing that everywhere women are paid less. Only recently this is not happening, that women and men both are paid equal. But in earlier days, women were always paid less than men. Workers were sometimes united to participate in strikes. As you can understand that there was so much atrocities and problems with the workers. They were given more time period. Their limited hours of work was much. Their wages were low, their working hours were more, so that's why they were uniting themselves to get justice, and they were participating in strikes. So somehow they were trying to get justice from their owners. Now we will study in the next video peasants. Peasants means the farmers in the countryside, means villages. Thank you.